tree. Look at this, guys. There we go. What a trip. Oh man, threw it over the log. Alright, well, good morning everyone. It is Nick Mulbauer and I'm on my typical Sunday morning adventure, and we're switching gears today. I'm going to be doing some crappie fishing. I've not been to this lake in quite some time, probably not about a year, but I do like to kind of come up here every fall and sample it for crappie. I like to know how they're growing. Pure curiosity. I usually have a pretty good idea of the size range they're running out here, but like I said, I just like to come up here at least once a year and see if I can find some crappie and see if they're growing. See what the average is, see what the upper end of them is, if I'm lucky. I went something. But yeah, we're just gonna mill around in here. We got some standing timber, and I'm just gonna fish along the trunks of these trees, and I'm gonna see if I can pick up some crappie. What I'm running this morning is 4-pound line, ultralight rod with just a bobby Garland little SwimR shad. Can't remember what the actual name of it is. It's something like that. It's just a minnow profile bait. And then I might do a little bit of bobber fishing. We'll just see. I feel like I'm most effective here, at least at first, dialing them in with soft plastic, just trying to find out what depth these fish are running. So we're just going to cast around. We're just going to make our way around all these standing trees, see if we can pick up a crappie or two. So water clarity is pretty good. It's a bit stained, but I feel like that's a good thing sometimes. So we're going to get out there, try to catch some crappie this morning. So wish me luck. Let's get it. Alright guys, first crappie of the morning. This is probably 5th cast. Looky here. That's a good one, guys. That's a dandy. We'll get him unhooked. We'll show him to you, and then we'll talk about it. There we go, folks. First black crappie of the morning. Thick, healthy black crappie. What a beautiful black crappie, and a beautiful way to start a beautiful day. That is something to be proud of, and we can leave today without catching another fish, and we're happy because it's such a beautiful day and that's such a beautiful fish. So let's talk about what happened there. So we got the sun. Sun is still about 20 minutes out, I think, from rising. Because of that, and due to the stain of the water, I decided to use something a little bit higher contrast. We have a little 32nd ounce pink jig head and a little chartreuse tail. That's just to kind of draw them in from a distance. I feel like with the stain in the water, I don't have to have a super natural looking bait. And then we just got a black body. So I feel like those contrasts will kind of draw them in from a distance. And I got pecked a couple times before I caught that crappie. So it might be a light bite today. We'll see what happens. And what I'm doing is I'm just casting at the base of these trees, counting down to about 4 or 5. And there's another one, 2 casts in a row. And feels like another crappie, another good one. And they're just hitting it. Oh, that's a bluegill. That's all right. Nice gill. So I'm just counting down to about 4 or 5, and I'm just trying to find out what depth these fish are hanging out at. So even though it's not a crappie, beautiful bluegill. 2 fish in a row, guys. Gotta love it. Gotta love that. We're off to a great start this morning. So we'll just keep, like I said, milling around and see if we can't catch up a couple more panfish. I'm okay with bluegill that size too. It's all fun to me, but I'm here for crappie today. We'll see how many we can pick off. Woo, woo. That was intense. Wow, I've never seen a crappie do that before, guys. Wow, that was cool. Dang, guys, that crappie hit it like a bass. Oh my goodness. That is a first. Unanticipated bite, guys. What I'm doing again is I'm just throwing that bobber and minnow as close as I can. I got it about 4 or 5 feet deep because that's how far I was counting down, so I'm thinking those fish are about 4 or 5 feet. And I was getting bit, and that fish just came out of there and just apparently followed it out. But look at that, another beautiful crappie just crushing, guys. That thing had no problem coming out of there. Topwater crappie fishing, guys. Amazing. That was so cool. That crappie gets the award for most aggressive crappie I've ever caught. Oh my gosh. So as I was saying, just like bass fishing, for me, I don't think you can get too close to cover. I'm trying to actually just hit that trunk of the tree with my bobber. And I want that bobber, pardon me, I want that bobber just inches off that trunk or touching the trunk. I don't care. You know, I just want it up against the wood. This crappie are holding tight to that wood today. And that's what they generally do out here. It seems like they hold pretty tight to that wood. So I'm going to cast out again, right up against that tree. See, it's inches from that trunk. There goes something with my bobber. Still got it. Let's lift up on him. There we go. What have we got here, guys? Wiley. Another crappie, guys, on the bluegill. Or on the minnow. Let's get him in here. There you go, guys, a combination. There we go, another one. So we're running minnow on a bobber and picking them up with soft plastics. And it seems like they're just kind of roaming, you know. And look at that beautiful sunrise. The sun is just coming up, folks. We're supposed to have cloud cover, and that's kind of why I came here today, because the cloud cover might keep these fish more elevated. And as that sun gets higher, if it's a sunny day, those fish are going to likely go deeper into the water column, and then you run the risk of running into more tree branches the deeper you go out here. So I was hoping that if I came here on a cloudy day, these fish would stay suspended in that 3 to 5, 6 foot range, and I'll be able to pick them off easier without having to deal with snags and trees and trespass. So I think I picked my day right. I also like coming out here when we have very minimal wind, because this place gets hit with the wind pretty hard, and it's a lot more of a joy to fish around these trees when I don't have a lot of wind. And in this case, I kind of like the chop. I like the little bit of chop, because I feel like that also might help position those fish higher in the water column. A little bit of chop will make those fish feel more protected. There we go, guys. Here's another crappie on a new color for us. I'm getting shorted a lot, so I thought maybe I'd downsize my lure a little bit. So now I got on a Bobby Garland, what's the name of this bait? Micro minnow, something like that. Itty bit SwimR with a 1/32 jig head. And that got him stuck. I can't get him unstuck. Take a look at him. We got another nice black crappie there, guys, on the Bobby Garland Itty bit SwimR. and 1/32 ounce jig head here. And it is a very small profile bait, and when I rig it up, I just thread it up to the lead. I don't pull it over the lead because I think it has a more natural looking appearance and swim when I don't thread it all the way up the lead. And like I said, we're just kind of roaming around. Like, these crappie are just up against the trees, you know, but they're also just suspending out beyond the trees. And I'm just counting down anywhere from 4 to 7 seconds, and that's it. Cloud cover is hopefully going to keep these fish shallow. Like I mentioned earlier, the clouds blew in, and we're going to have clouds, I think, all morning. Got a little light breeze out of the north, and got some cooler fall temperatures coming in. Another thing I'd like to mention on why I decided to fish here was I figured the clarity would be pretty good. It's actually more stained than I thought it would be. We haven't had a rain for about a month, so these lakes have had an opportunity to clear up. I kind of like there to be a little bit of clarity when I'm crappie fishing. Definitely in some trees here. There we go. There's another good one, folks. Ooh, flip him in. Boy, that's a good fish, guys. God darn. This is public water, guys. Public water. That is a nice crappie if I can get him unstuck. Dang. When they swallow it like that, it gets tough to unstick him. Look how tall that fish is, though, guys. Here's my hand. It's a tall, darn black crappie. It's a beautiful black crappie. I think I'm going to get a picture of this dense boy. That is a beautiful crappie. A lot of fun catching crappie that size. Seems like the sweet spot is about, I would say, about 5 feet down. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's where they're at. Let that fish go, then they will continue to get bigger. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Let's get that one over the tree. Look at this, guys. There we go. What a trip. Oh man, threw it over the log. Tree crappie. What an interesting way to catch a crappie. New color. Another crappie, guys. Another black. Pulled right out of a treetop. Oh my goodness. That was hilarious. Again, those fish are just tucked up next to the trees and milling around, but I think the best, most high percentage strategy you can do is just throw them up against these trees. Try to visualize where those trunks intersect down under the water, and they'll be tucked up in between those trunks and down where they intersect. They're just all over the place, guys. You just gotta fan cast around for them. Just swim that lure through the trees. A lot of them are shorting it. They're not crazy hard bites. There's another one hung up. There we go. They're not crazy hard bites, and I think a lot of them that aren't the crazy hard bites are just bluegill pecking at it, you know. Let's get them back. Dang. Stuck. I need to get pliers out. I'm foolish to not have my pliers out. Yeah, I think these bluegill are just, you know, pecking at the tail, just trailing these. I think the crappie are more often than not getting a hold of it when I can put that lure in front of a crappie's face. But the deal is it's just a lot of fan casting around, like I said. Just, you know, switching lure colors, switching jig head colors, and just finding combinations. It doesn't seem like any combination is working better than another, but you know, you might just happen to stumble upon a combination that's just absolutely fire. So that's why I kind of just, you know, switch it up every now and then, just to see if one lure gets a better bite going. There's another one. What is this, a bass? Oh, another crappie, guys. Flip them in. It's awesome when you can mistake crappie for bass. That means they're decent crappie. That's crappie all day for me. That's about the average, guys, and that's probably a 10-inch or 10-inch black crappie. But those black crappie, they have shoulders on them, guys, compared to white crappie. White crappie tend to be more slender and long, whereas black crappie will kind of be shorter, more stout, and have more meat on their bones. But yeah, perfect eating size crappie, and we're getting into a mess of them, so it's an awful lot of fun. Ton of fun, guys. Oh, that's a big one. All right, folks, I think we're gonna call it a day with this one here. This color chartreuse and clear itty bit SwimR has been killing the bluegill in the last half hour, but it's been tough coming across crappie. But that one is definitely a day ender, I would say. Good shoulders again, just a beautiful fish. I think we succeeded in doing our annual survey of this lake. Crappie are definitely getting bigger. Every year they're getting bigger. The bluegill are getting bigger. It's just been a lot of fun. We're gonna let that one go. Solid end to a solid morning of fishing. And all we did was throw at the bases of the trunks where they meet the water. We're just counting down anywhere from 3 to 6 seconds. That's how I was catching bluegill and crappie all morning. And with the cloud cover, they didn't really change their depths at all, I don't think, all day. They just have been suspending in that 4 to 6 feet. And they've been everywhere. They've been all over. It's just going from tree to tree and just finding them, just hunting them down. So, good cap to the day. We'll call it a day. Awesome start to crappie fishing this fall. It's September 10th, I think, today. So fall is just getting underway and the crappie are starting to bite again. I've been bass fishing all summer, so it was definitely a wonderful time getting out here and catching a couple crappie for once. It's been too long, so y'all take care. I'll get home, we'll start working on this video. We'll have a fun crappie tips video for y'all. So have a good one, guys. Have a good rest of the weekend.